YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. This video is going to be about Diane Chamberlain, like not an exhaustive video on Diane Chamberlain, but just to give you guys a little bit of background on, kind of what she means to me. So growing up, my dad always encouraged us to read, and the way that he would do this, and I love it so much, and I'm gonna steal it for myself when I have little humans of my own. He gave us an allowance, and then he said, if you read, I will pay you back double whatever the book was, right? So I would go, I'd buy this book, it would be like 300 Rand, because I'm from South Africa, and he would flip through it and he'd find a name, he'd say, oh, tell me about this character, tell me about that character. And, he could glean pretty quickly if I'd read the book or not. And if I'd read the book according to his standards, then he would pay me 600 Rand back. So it was a way to make more money. And so after he started that system, then naturally I went over, I kind of started out in YA, but that didn't last very long because those books weren't very expensive. And so I moved over to the fiction section, and that's where I found Diane, because her books were, this book is 367 pages. This one, Secret Lives, is even bigger. No, it's not. It's 400 pages. So naturally, those books were more expensive. So then those are the books I started buying. And I think the first book of hers that I had read was The Secret Life of C.C. Wilkes, I think it was. And I was just captivated. I read her like a crazy person. And then, of course, you begin to become, so my dad kind of started the system when I was 12. And I want to say I was maybe 13, 14. When Diane Chamberlain came into the picture. And then, after Chamberlain, that's when I became aware of oh my goodness, there's this whole world called classics and modern classics. And that's when I found out, about how you could pose as a well-read and educated person if you're able to pull out the classic and say something about Charles Dickens or Chinua Achebe or whatever. And then, my reading practices kind of shifted and adapted for, whatever reason. But I really do think my love for reading started with Mrs. Diane Chamberlain. The reason I went back to her was because I was at a time in my work, and I'm kind of still in this time, where I'm a literary scholar. I probably should lead with that, shouldn't I? Anyway, I was at a place in my work where the books I had to read were just boring. Plain and simple boring. I'm still in that era of books where I'm reading about a time period that I have a lot of feelings about, but the literary output is not particularly exciting, and I'm just not enjoying it. And so I needed to be reminded of wait, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I reading? Why do I what am I here for? And then I decided to go back to basics, and I decided to go back to Miss Chamberlain. So the book, I've read this, and then this is Big Lies in a Small Town. I decided to buy this one because it's set in North Carolina, and that's where I live right now. So let me read you the back summary of what this book's about. North Carolina, 2018. Morgan Christopher's life has been derailed. Taking the fall for a crime she did not commit, her dreams of a career in art is put on hold until a mysterious visitor makes her an offer that will get her released from prison immediately. Her assignment? Restore an old post office mural in a sleepy southern town. Morgan knows nothing about art restoration, but desperate to be free, she accepts. What she finds under the layers of grime is a painting that tells a story of madness, violence, and a conspiracy of small town secrets. North Carolina, 1940, the Great Depression. Anna Dale, an artist from New Jersey, wins a national contest to paint a mural for the post office in Edenton, North Carolina. Alone in the world and in great need of work, she accepts. But what she doesn't expect is to find herself immersed in a town where prejudices run deep, where people are hiding secrets behind closed doors, and where the price of being different might just end in murder. What happened to Anna Dale? Are the clues hidden in the decrepit mural? Can Morgan overcome her own demons to discover what exists beneath the layers of lies? So yes, that's why I selected this book. And after I had read, I finished this and then I went over to the Secret Lives, which is about, oh my gosh, it's a hardcover, which means I can't find like the summary for it, but it's fine. This is not really the subject of today's video. But what I realized from reading this book is that Chamberlain really does seem to enjoy these dual time period kind of thing, where in Secret Lives she does the same thing, where one is set in the modern day or the contemporary moments, and then the other thing that's happening is set back in the 40s. So she does that quite a bit. And the thing that's common to both of the books that's interesting is that she uses diary and diary writing as a way to connect the past and the present, and to create a through line between the two female characters, because the two women, the one in the present is Morgan and the one in the past is Anna Dale, and Morgan gets to know Anna Dale through her diaries. Similarly, in this book, Eden Riley, who's in the present, gets to know her mother, Kate, I forget what her mother's last name is, gets to know her late mother through her mother's diaries. So there really is something about Diane Chamberlain that she enjoys, this kind of connecting two women's lives through writing. And that's what she's done for me, She helped me maybe not connect to other women, but perhaps become curious about the women in my life and, what's happening in their inner lives, and what are the secrets that teacher Christine is holding, when I was in grade 7 and reading this. And, I kind of began thinking about middle age as this interesting period in a woman's life where, the family secrets come out, and now you're old enough and they trust you and blah, blah, blah. So I think she also kind of influenced the way that I think about aging, and the way that I think about I'm old, but I'm not that old. I'm 27. And I always, from what I remember, as a child and reading her books as a child, for some reason, I associated the stories with middle-aged women, even though the characters were usually young women making all kinds of, mistakes and cleaning up after their own mistakes and finding their place in the world. But I guess I understood that her audience was maybe much older than me, so it didn't matter that they were 20, to a 13-year-old, the difference between a 20-year-old and a 40-year-old, I don't think I fully understood that there is a huge difference here. The point I'm trying to make is Diane Chamberlain means a lot to me, and this book, it supercharged me, and it kind of made me realize maybe I should dip my toes into bookish YouTube, because I'm just grateful for who I've become after having read her, But thank you so much for watching my video. I will link everything down below, of course. If you want more, please watch more videos. You can also follow up on my blog, booksandblush.com, where I write about, oh my gosh, anything makeup, anything literature, from songs to book reviews to book and blush pairings, which I actually need to get around to. But this is all to say thank you for watching, and I hope I see you next time.